Hello, this is a reading for Aries 2024. We're just kind of going through all the signs and doing readings. We're live streaming right now too. Live streaming right now as well. I have a sense that Aries energy is going to be a bit tough to read this year. I had to kind of pause and like try and pick up on it. Usually I'm pretty quick to transition from one reading to the next. That space, I don't really need much, just kind of like an openness to it being something new. Where I go to Aries reading, like that space where I'm going to do a reading for Aries, and I sense like this kind of difficulty being open to something different. So I wonder if I'm getting a message about like maybe there's a value to that. Maybe there's a value to a stubbornness or something. This year, there's something like you might not feel as compelled to play along, or you might feel more compelled to stand your ground. And I don't sense it as it's something that's making me nervous. I'm sensing it as something that feels very natural. Like, yeah. Like, not that you're not somebody who likes to learn new things, not that you're not somebody who likes to, grow. It just seems to me like you've got a good idea, or you've got something that you're working on, that this year, as much as it's a year of transition for everybody, we're kind of reading that it's a very Scorpio-like year. I just wonder if we're all changing, if we're all making these big changes, I wonder what we would end up with. There are anchors, and I wonder if you're an anchor this year. It feels very calm, cool, collected. And it's like I go to look for something and there's nothing there. And not so much that there's nothing there, it's just kind of like, why would I look? So I'm gonna look anyway. I'm gonna read the cards. But I just wanted to say that right away because I was having that experience as I was trying to pull cards. I saw something about the Devil card kind of giving Aries something valuable. And so you might get something from a Capricorn. And we haven't done Capricorn's reading yet. And I'll probably forget I said that by the time we end up Capricorn's readings in a few from here. So if you want to check that reading out, I think there might be something for you in there. And then other than that, you might meet a Capricorn this year who gives you a gem or gives you something important, valuable. The Fool, the Knight of Wands, and the Ten of Swords. I'm reading for Aries, and I'm trying to embody the Aries energy. I get this kind of cynicism coming out. Like, look at all these people just going every which way. I do see you're a witness to something where there is panic. Like not, I feel like you have kind of a removed, like you might be seeing something on the news or something where there's a lot of people who are kind of just trying to make do with a terrible situation or something. And that's just like seeing something in the news, like, people fleeing a country that's war torn or something like that. And I don't know. I'm not feeling insensitive to it when I look at that. It's just kind of, I'm looking at it with just this sense of awe. Like I never thought I'd see that kind of thing in my life. Like, what's going on out there? That kind of, it's curious, but it's also kind of like, well, that's not me. I can't deal with, like, I can't do anything about that kind of thing. I mean, and trusting that everybody's doing the best they can, like, So I don't know if you're going to be a witness to some form of a crisis or something where you're going to be calm, cool, collected, and very aware of what you can and can't do. Ooh, somebody's interested to hear the Capricorn reading. Cool. Won't be long. We're almost there. We're on reading number 4 right now. Okay, Justice. And look at, I just want to put everything in a neat little row. All the other spreads have been so far just like all over the place. This is just kind of whoop, nice straight hedge. This is my backyard here. I am in my backyard, and there's all these things going on all around me outside of my hedges. And then Flanders pops over. Heidi ho, neighborino. Pisces got this 9 of Cups. It was like the crux of their reading too. It was kind of like, what are you hoping to achieve here, was Pisces. And I feel like being a lot more gentle with Aries energy. I want to be gentle with Aries energy because I have this sensation that you won't be... I feel like Aries has a general sense, amplified of like an amplified sense of knowing this year what can and can't be done about things. Like witnessing people's randomness in the face of crisis or chaos is kind of like just, well, that's what people do when they're in a crisis. They just kind of do every which thing and not taking anything personally. Like people aren't behaving that way because of you. You didn't cause the crisis, or, you know, what can you do about that? It's almost like you've got to let things settle a little bit and like just be okay with the fact that things are a bit wild. And so this 9 of Cups, it's like for Pisces, it was like, let's take a look at what it is that you're actually trying to achieve here. And for you, I'm seeing something like, isn't this what you wanted? Like you're not coming across as this fast changing energy that I'm getting out of everybody else, all the other signs so far. You're coming across as like, this is something you've worked for. You've worked for this ability maybe to discern, to not take personally things that are just kind of running their course, even if they are something like, people say all kinds of weird things when they're in the middle of a crisis. And they might even say some mean words to you, and just like the ability to not take that personally. And I'm almost sensing like Aries, somebody's going to be like a paramedic or something. Like there's somebody like cool, calm, collected in a crisis, doesn't take it personally. There'd be somebody who's like swearing a whole bunch because they're in pain, and there's nothing but kind of empathy. It's like a detached empathy. There is maybe somebody who is working in healthcare, like first responders kind of in here. And I'm just kind of appreciating and sitting in this space a minute. It's a very calming place to be. Like I'm building a sense of calm in this place. And my first thought about that is, this could get addictive. I could get addicted to how, if I got really good at staying calm in a crisis, it feels very good. Like it feels like it's giving me something that I could get addicted to. I guess maybe there'd be something like people who like skydiving and they get addicted to skydiving because they learn how to, it's almost like, I don't know, is it master your adrenaline, or is it like channel your adrenaline? Very different reading for Aries. Queen of Wands and the 6 of Swords. These are all characters, well, we haven't seen the Queen of Wands yet, but the 6 of Swords we saw. Definitely in the Virgo reading. Like it's chaos. There's chaos all around. There's people who are changing jobs. Like it feels like your immediate environment is surrounded by people who are changing. Everything's changing, And there's just this cool, calm, collected ability to not take any of that personally. People running all over the place, someone chasing after someone. Like you might have friends, like who are a couple, and like one of them is leaving the other, and this one's like all upset and wants to chase after them. And you're kind of just watching this all go down, like as if it's a movie. Like this person's like changing jobs, you know, right here, the Queen of Wands, this person's like worried about this person who's changing jobs, or worried about this person, or this person's running away from that person, like people running away from each other, people chasing after each other. And I just see this like, and none of it is got anything to do with me for Aries. And it's not a like a feeling left out. It's I don't want anything to do with it. Like, okay, there's all this drama and I don't want anything to do with it. Interesting, it comes in reverse. And the chaos doesn't want anything to do with someone who doesn't want anything to do with its drama. You're being advised in the readings for 2024 to stand your ground. There's a lot of drama going on that is trying to suck you in, or at least maybe there's this kind of like sulking energy, like people trying to suck you into their drama, and there's this kind of like, and you just kind of being like, oh, you know, what can you do? And somebody might get offended by that and be like, I can't believe you don't care, or I can't believe, and that was a little bit the Pisces reading. This is a little more like people who are just being sulky. Like they just don't want to hear about it. They just don't want to hear from someone whose stance is, why do you need so much drama? You know, like, or whatever, like, or they don't want to hear from people who don't want to get sucked into the drama, who understand that it's not theirs. This looks to me like a reasonable stance, not only a reasonable stance, but one that you're being encouraged to continue to take with, especially if this kind of stuff continues into 2024. You might recognize this from last year because it feels like you're well into this kind of like, not my problem position. Very rightfully so. Not like all of this stuff that people are doing, like it's all this theatrics to what, occupy their time or something. And I'm just kind of getting this, it's amazing to see. It's like, what is everybody even doing? Like, what is all this? I see what's happening. Are they seriously like, it all looks like a movie. It's like people are emulating a movie rather than, and I don't know if you even have a preference for what they do instead. Like once you removed yourself from it, like in the terms of there's nothing you can do about it, you don't have to be involved in it, then it doesn't matter why they're doing it. Like it's just kind of like, well, that's stuff that's going on out there outside of my hedges. See, like I got this, the moon, and then the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, like I don't need to know. And I don't think that you're being mean about it either. I just kind of like, there's just this stance about you, this confident stance about you. No one would even try to get you involved in their drama because you're not a lucrative, you know, you're not a lucrative pawn. You just sit there and like kind of look at everything and have your thoughts about it, not really take it personally. That's not somebody who is a prime candidate for other people's drama. The Knight of Pentacles is showing that they're going to start taking it elsewhere. I feel like I'm a bit sad when I think about that. Aw, that's too bad. It was kind of like watching a movie. Ooh, getting caught up in stuff. Am I sensing an Aries energy where this kind of feels, if it's a young person, it kind of feels like a moment where you kind of start to realize that you're not going in the same direction as some of your friends, and your friends are starting to get in trouble with the law, or Your friends are starting to, they're not growing up, and it's going to hit them they're going to get a slap on the wrist, not just a slap on the wrist. It's almost like they're betraying themselves by carrying on like this. It's too much drama. This insatiable need for the constant stimulation of complex crises. It's going to hit them hard. Like somebody's going to throw the book at them. Whoever it is, life or whatever. The Emperor is the ultimate Aries. And I feel like this is you down the road. And when I said they were going to go somewhere else, they were going to go try and get their drama all tied up with someone else, because you're just not the very lucrative. It's like not very attractive to get you involved, because you just kind of sit there and you don't take it personally. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for somebody to reel in and to get you all entangled and, you know. But I feel like down the road, like I got sad about this. This is friends. This is like people you've known a long time. And like that energy of like you have a couple. You're friends with a couple, and like to see that can be like a really wonderful thing. To have that kind of a, you know, insight look into a relationship. Like it's nice to see couples, you know, living their life. It's nice to be a friend who's a part of that. And so it's sad to see them steering their energy and time toward other things. It's sad to distance from people, although I don't think you are. I think you're just kind of standing firm, and I don't understand what's this drama about. And I do see down the road, they're heading for a place where ultimately what you have right now, I'm just seeing like this year, you're maybe going to lose touch with a friend or two. You probably already knew this was coming. And I'm getting a reassurance that down the road, they're going to realize that they could have listened to you. And not because you were telling them to stop being so dramatic, but they could have listened to you when you just didn't really want to engage in all that drama. There's a I think there'll be reconnections after a period of separation, but I'm just seeing, especially if you resonate with this, there's a couple, friend, like friends couple, I don't know. What comes out of the woodwork after this is basically them running into the wisdom of your stance. And it's almost like they have to go after it. They have to find it for themselves. They can't hear it from you. And I don't think you would try. I don't know. This is very specific, but Aries energy maybe is just resonating with a hold your ground. This is a very respectable stance to take in the face of like seeing people who are just carrying on like teenagers for too long, if that makes sense. Unless you're a teenager, then you're supposed to be doing this stuff. But if you're not, and it's kind of like trying to live your life like an episode of Kardashians, then I'll give you one, Aries. It's maybe like a calm place you've created for yourself, sheltered from all of this drama. And there's a reassurance for you that while 2024, you might continue to see a bit of separation between you and this energy, I do believe we're getting a new message about this wisdom. You're wiser than you know in these types of stances. Value those stances and you can commit to these stances, and it's fair to continue to keep yourself in a place where you're not taking what other people do and say personally, because stuff's getting weird out there. I agree. Things are getting really weird. People are acting funny. And we can kind of look at it and say, I mean, it's a really weird world out there right now, isn't it? I don't know. That's about that. 2024 reading for you. Interesting. Okay, well, that's about it for now. If you want to come hang out with us on the live stream, that's where we are more often. Come to Twitch, same name for the channel. And I hope you enjoy this reading. I hope you have a great 2024. Take care.